Okay, here's something you don't hear every day. Recently, I took up smoking. Now, I am very anti-cigarette, anti-drug, and what I ended up taking up is actually smoking a pipe. It's something that I kind of remember from my childhood, and it has a special place in my heart. So when I was a young lad and I would go out fishing with my father, I wasn't really a big fan of fishing. He loved it. I didn't really care. I kind of wanted to explore the woods a little bit more, and it's something that's really carried over to this day. I'm not a fisherman, but I do love to get out in the woods, go get lost for a while, and find my way back. I just find a lot of fun and a lot of fulfillment in doing that. So what he used to tell me was, go ahead and explore, but don't go any further than you can smell the pipe that I'm smoking. And he used to smoke a pipe only when he fished to keep the gnats and mosquitoes away from him. And it was this really nice apple fragrance, I remember. It's very strong. So as soon as I would go a little bit further and I couldn't smell that pipe anymore, I knew it was time to come back. So it's kind of an interesting story, and it's always been something that I've been around, which is pipe smoking. So I wanted to get into it, and I am an absolute novice at this. If you're watching this and you're a total, like, you know, pipe smoker aficionado or whatever, I apologize if I'm not using the correct lingo here, but I wanted to get into it recently, and I did, and it's been very, very fun. I gotta tell you, I only smoke a pipe maybe once a week, but it's a nice thing to do, especially when you have to go somewhere and think about something. Or a lot of times when I'm thinking about something I want to design or a space that I want to outfit, I just have to sit there and stare at it for a while. So it's a great excuse to go somewhere and just spend some alone time. And it takes about 45 minutes to get through a pipe, so it gives you some nice time to reflect and just think about things that are going on in your life. And I really enjoy it. So I had to, of course, look for the interesting accessories that come with being a pipe smoker. I ended up picking up this right here. This is from Craft and Lore. Now, Craft and Lore is a small leather maker. I think it's just one guy, maybe a couple of guys who are making these things. They also make a bunch of other stuff. They make some bags, belts, kind of the accessories you would expect from a leather maker. And this right here is their Rustic pipe roll. And I like it a lot because it's very simple. I like the fact that it doesn't have a buckle. It kind of has this interesting wraparound section of ribboned leather, which is actually tied on the inside here, so it's easy to repair, and it's also just a neat kind of functional way to close it. When you unroll it here, of course you have your pipe. Once you open up this flap here, of course you have your pipe. I keep a few pipe cleaners in there, my little poker, and some matches are actually buried in here. But what you could do if you wanted to is carry around a couple of pipes, because if somebody is interested in trying it out, you can offer them something. And then they have this little pouch right here where you can keep your tobacco. I actually really prefer the aromatic tobacco, and I guess that's something that a beginner would really kind of gravitate to, is the smell of the pipe, because it's a very old smell that probably reminds you of maybe your grandfather. So I really like the aromatics. That's what I'm using right now for pipe tobacco, but let's talk about this roll itself. Now, Craft and Lore is a small leather maker, and as you know, I really like the smaller companies. A lot of times when you call up and talk to somebody over there, you're talking to the person that's going to be making you whatever it is that you want to order, and they make these things to order, because for them to make them and keep them in stock and maybe not sell them, well, that's wasting their time, wasting their money, and of course, wasting their talent. So this here is actually made out of oil tanned leather, and you can see it has a beautiful grain left to it. This is something that will age with time, and it'll look wonderful. It does have a little bit of pull-up, and if you're not familiar, pull-up is more or less when you stretch the leather, it will lighten slightly, and that's just something that adds to the nice patina that you develop over time. The inside is left rough, which kind of adds to that nice, almost velvet feeling, and it will protect whatever pipes you put in there. Some of these pipes that I've seen, I mean, they range up, up to the thousands of dollars if you get a custom piece. Stuff that I could never imagine spending. But if you have something like that, this will keep it protected. The interesting thing too is just imagine all the thought that had to go into this roll. Yes, you could beef it up with all kinds of stuff, but it has to be flexible because it has to roll up. It also can't be too thick because you're gonna have this gigantic roll and you can't put that in the pocket of your coat. So they had to keep it thin, lightweight, simple enough that it could be rolled up. However, it still needs to accommodate all of the stuff that you need to be able to smoke a pipe. and they've done a wonderful job. From what I understand, this is actually the second version of it. The original version did not have the pouch for your tobacco here, and it was a little bit more beefy. I think they skimped down on it a tad just to make it a little bit less bulky in your pocket, but they've done a wonderful job. This will easily fit into the pocket of my Wolf-Filson Mackinac Cruiser. It fits into that pocket no problem. And if you're somebody who doesn't smoke a pipe, I know that people who smoke pipes are pretty rare, and it's kind of a niche thing. It's almost considered a hipster thing, which I'm really not too thrilled about. But let's say you're somebody who doesn't like to smoke a pipe. Well, think about all the things that you could do with a roll like this that has all these pockets, that has a flap on it. You could easily use this to store maybe your knives, maybe your watches. Maybe it's a great rustic way to store some pens that you have that you want to keep nice, and all the accessories that go with it. I even know somebody who uses one of these to store all of the little cables and stuff that goes with his laptop. What a great way to store that stuff in a cool way, and something that you really wouldn't expect. As you can see, they've used some very nice forest green stitching on here. I think it complements the brown color beautifully, and overall the aesthetic is a very nice rustic masculine look. It complements the pipe and the ritual of smoking a pipe just perfectly, and I think that this eventually will probably pick up some of the scent of whatever the tobacco that you're using is. So if you're a pipe smoker and you don't have anything to store your pipes in, well, I would suggest this, and I think it's an absolutely wonderful product. If you're not a pipe smoker, but you're looking for a cool little way to carry around whatever it is you may have, I think this is another good option for that. So here we have yet another wonderful product made by an independent craftsman, and people who really, they are banking on their product to be as good quality as possible to win your business back. If Craft & Lore didn't impress me with this piece here, well, that would be the last time I would shop with them. However, they've done a wonderful job, and I will absolutely consider them next time I need something made out of leather. I've been really interested in these small makers lately, and I bought this here. I think this was about $125. A lot of these guys I've never even told that I'm going to be doing unboxings or reviews of their goods, so hopefully they get a little bit more exposure through this channel. I'm a big fan of Craft & Lore. I think they're making some very nice products at a very reasonable price. Think about if you went into a Neiman Marcus and saw this. They would charge you $500 because of the name, but since you have one person making this to the best of their ability, you get the benefit of no markup. So that's what I have to say about this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't already, think about subscribing, and I'll see you next time.